May the industrialized nations understand that they cannot continue polluting without reserve. May those who exploit without thinking of tomorrow stop. May the corrupt poachers of our planet change their ways. And may we realize that in this battle to save our planet, we are not in the proverbial same boat, but that we are indeed in the same boat, big, small, rich or poor.
Welcome back. That was the president of Seychelles speaking at the COP26 summit in Glasgow, one of several leaders of small island nations highlighting just how vulnerable their countries are to rising sea levels. Seychelles is an archipelago off the coast of East Africa. It's made up of just over 100 islands. Most of its residents live along the coastline. Earlier, we spoke to the president of Seychelles, Wavel Ramkalawan, about the impact climate change is having on his country. And President Ramkalawan joins us now. Nice to see you, President.
Thank you very much.
I want to talk to you about the message you delivered at COP26 because you're just back from Glasgow. But first, I thought it might be helpful for Canadians to understand how climate change is affecting the Seychelles. What is the biggest impact?
The biggest impact really lies with the rise in sea level and coastal erosion. These are the main issues, and Canadians should be aware that Seychelles has two groups of islands: the granitic islands, around which the main island of Mahé lies, and then we have coral islands. The coral islands are facing grave danger because with the rise in sea level and with the surges which are now greater, the risk of losing these islands completely is real. So what we might become at some point in history is, instead of being an archipelago of 115 islands, we might find ourselves with only the granitic islands around the main island of Mahé. And even these would lose the coast because the surges are already affecting the coast, and we find ourselves building rock armoring and such like installations in order for us to protect the coast. And so we are in fact victims of what is happening through the actions of industrialized nations. And this is why we are very concerned with everything that is happening.
Yes, I mean, it sounds like you're sort of trying to fight, literally and physically fighting climate change off the islands. You went to COP26 to Glasgow and you delivered a powerful speech. I watched some of it and read all of it. What was the message there to nations like Canada, to industrialized nations?
Well, the main message was simple. The islands of Seychelles are victims to climate change. Mm-hmm. And therefore, industrialized nations need to come to the help of not only Seychelles, but all the other small island developing states in order to forge this partnership. And industrialized nations should not just be talking about pledges, but that the time for concrete action was yesterday. This is what I said. Yeah. And it's no longer time for talk. It's time for real action. And furthermore, I highlighted the fact that here we are in the Seychelles with 1.4 million square kilometers as an oceanic state. We are doing everything possible for us to protect the environment. We have 32% of our oceans, which is under protection. We have 48% of our 469 square kilometers of land mass, which again is under protection. Together with Mauritius, we are protecting a seagrass meadow, which is larger than Switzerland, and of course, seagrass removes more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere than than trees. So we are doing everything possible. So the message was clear. We need the help of those who are causing the most harm to the planet, because we are interested in the protection of the planet.
And part of that help was actually something that was pledged back in 2009 at COP15, the $100 billion a year for developing nations like yours. Again, this meeting, the target was missed, but they did manage to raise $80 billion. What does that tell you about how your message is being received? Developing nations certainly seem to want to help, but they still can't get to the goals that they set for themselves.
Well, I just see this as utter disappointment. And I sometimes wonder whether the commitment is there. Because they talk in terms of billions when it's time to come to help nations that are already helping themselves. But when it comes to military programs or other programs, they talk in terms of trillions. So it's high time these leaders are serious. And small as we are saying, don't put added pressure on us. We are being destroyed, but the sad thing is, it's not only the Seychelles that will be destroyed, it's the planet, it's the one planet that we have. And at the same time, these are the very nations that keep preaching to us about moving from fossil fuel to other forms of energy, which costs a lot of money. Yes. So if we want to move in that one direction, we have to be serious. And furthermore, industrialized nations like the US, like China, like other nations that keep burning coal, which is the greatest contributor to climate change, should simply get on with a serious commitment and and walk the talk. Don't just preach to us. Don't just give us lessons. We know the lessons. We are trying our best. Now it's a partnership that we need, a real one where not only pledges are made, but the money is placed where the mouths of the leaders are. This is the simple message.
If I can ask you a specific question about Canada, where it did try to put various things in place while the Prime Minister of Canada was there, including a cap on emissions from the oil sector. Do you have the impression that Canada, given the amount of oil that we produce, is committed to climate change and is committed to helping nations like yours?
Well, Canada gives the impression that they are committed, that they want to help, that the environment is important. So if this is the direction that Canada is taking under Prime Minister Trudeau, then I would say to him, he's my friend. Let's work together.
Yes. President Ramkalawan, so good of you to make the time for us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.